Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
This Saturday night, we have a tremendous show at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. It's the Battle of Brooklyn, the battle between two of the very best middleweights in the world. It's a middleweight championship fight with bragging rights at stake. But it's an entire night of unbelievable boxing from the time that the doors open. So I really want to urge people this Saturday night, get tickets, barclaycenter.com, ticketmaster.com, the Barclays Center box office. If you can't be there, you can watch it on Showtime. The Showtime Extreme telecast begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Showtime telecast begins at 9 p.m. So I'd like everybody there. Before we get started, just a couple of things. In the course of this promotion, a few people close to us suffered some serious losses in their lives and their families. So condolences to Kelly Swanson on the loss of her stepdad. Condolences to Chris Algieri's promoter, Joe DeGuardia of Star Boxing, on the loss of his brother. And also, you're going to see a young man come up here and translate for our Spanish-speaking fighters today. That's Ricardo Quillin, the brother of Pritchard Quillin. So I'd urge everybody out there, when you get a chance in your spare time, say a little prayer for Pritchard, for his recovery and for his family, and what's been a big ordeal. And on a lighter note, before we get started, it's Kevin Rooney's birthday today. So happy birthday, Kevin. We love you. Happy birthday. Have a good time. Not too good a time, and wait till after the day is over and you stop working. The undercard is unbelievable, really, truly. The doors are going to open early. The first fight's going to be around 4:30. Literally from around 5 o'clock on, they're going to be recognizable names, competitive fights. And it really is a kind of undercard that boxing fans have been asking for a long time. They've always said, you go to MMA and people walk in the door and the fights are great from the time they walk in. Well, that's really what we're delivering, at this show. So, I'm going to say it first, I'm going to say it again during the course of the press conference, but get there early. You're not going to have to stay that late. Mr. Espinosa from Showtime made this a very cool night for the fans, because really you should be able to, watch great boxing all night, and it'll be over by about 11 o'clock, which is great because you can actually watch with your family and your kids. So it's going to be a great night of boxing. I'd like to bring up first a man who's become a very good friend of mine. Last night I got to watch the Islanders whip the Rangers of Brooklyn. It was electric. It was like one of the most fun events I've ever been at. And that's the beginning of what I think is going to be a great week in Brooklyn, with these fights culminating, the week on Saturday. So I want to bring up the CEO of the Barclays Center, Brett Yormark.
Thank you, Lou. I'll be pretty brief. First of all, I'm really excited about Saturday night's fight. It's our 15th big night of boxing in Brooklyn since we opened the Barclays Center 3 years ago. This week is a big week for the Barclays Center. As Lou said, we had the Rangers and the Islanders last night. It was magical. It was terrific. Saturday night will be one of the biggest boxing events we've ever had at the Barclays Center, and on Sunday we bring in the undefeated Golden State Warriors to play the Nets. So it's a huge week in Brooklyn, and a huge night, Saturday night for us as it relates to our boxing program. And it's pretty personal for me too, because Danny is a friend. Danny and I got to know each other in advance of even building the Barclays Center, when he would come out to Nets games in New Jersey. And we always dreamed about big nights in Brooklyn where he would take center stage. Peter's also a very dear friend. We've gotten to know each other over the last couple of years. In fact, he lives across the street from our corporate offices on Flatbush, and I consider both very friendly, they're good friends of mine, and I'm there for them whenever they need it. And so Saturday night will be a special moment for me as well as the Barclays Center, but most importantly for Brooklyn. I want to thank Lou DiBella. He continues to bring great boxing to the Barclays Center. When you think of venues in this country, Barclays is at the top of the list when you think about a boxing program, and we've only been doing it for 3 years. I want to thank Stephen Espinosa, glamorizing the Barclays Center and putting us on an incredible network to promote who we are and what we do. We're very thankful for that. And beyond the main event, there's some great stories to be told Saturday night when you think of Heather Hardy, Chris Algieri, Will Rosinski, Yuri Foreman, and of course Marcus Brown. Marcus was telling me this is his 10th time fighting at Barclays Center, so certainly this is his home. So thank you, Marcus, for thinking so highly of the Barclays Center. We look forward to seeing everyone Saturday night. It's going to be a great night. If you haven't purchased your tickets, make sure you do so. And just thank you for all the support we get at the Barclays Center. Thank you.
Last Saturday night, there was a pretty good fight on Showtime Sports between Lucian Bute and James DeGale. It was a lot of fun to watch, and Showtime's really going to close the year out on a high note. What I expect to be a terrific night of boxing, and for that I thank the man who runs Showtime Sports, Stephen Espinosa.
Thanks, Lou. This will be Showtime's seventh event at Barclays Center. So we've done roughly half of the boxing at the Barclays Center. That's no accident. On top of being a first-class venue, all of you know by now, Brett Yormark has made himself a fixture within boxing as a very knowledgeable and a passionate fan. His staff is incredible, and I can't think of a better venue for an event like this. It's an interesting week in New York sports. I don't think it was set up this way, but it's rivalry week if we think about it. Last night it was Islanders Rangers at the Barclays Center. On Friday night it will be the Nets hosting the Knicks. On Sunday it's Jets versus Giants. Right in the middle of it we've got the Battle of Brooklyn, another local rivalry, and I think it's going to be the most exciting matchup of any of those events. But before we get to that, to echo what Brett has said, we've got an incredible undercard, with Yuri and Will and their local favorites, with Heather, who's fought at Barclays Center, I believe, 5 times before. She's in a rematch of a tough split decision, and we all know how rematches often go. Those are often tougher than the first fight. We've also got, of course, Chris Algieri, Marcus Brown, more fan favorites and people, 2 boxers who have frequented the Barclays Center. And then we move to the Showtime card. We have an Argentinian power puncher, Jesus Cuellar. He trains with Marcos Maidana. That's pretty much all you need to know, because that tells you he's a 126-pound version of Marcos Maidana. Very exciting. And we've got a great matchup with Jonathan Oquendo, who pulled up a minor upset against a very tough Johnny Gonzalez. And I think that could steal the show. I think Heather's fight could steal the show. But then again, with the headline, we've got, Daniel Jacobs, the champion. You all know him, 27 of 30 wins by knockout. With Peter Quillin, the former champion, in his last 7 fights, and I had to double check this to make sure it's accurate, he's recorded 15 knockdowns. So when you have those kind of numbers, when we have these kind of matchups, I don't do this often, but I'll guarantee you that we have exciting fight after exciting fight, and I'd like you all to be there very early. We'll see you Saturday.
There are 5 people sitting on the dais that either are world champions or have been world champions. I want to bring up the first of them. Pride of Brooklyn, of New York, practicing rabbi, well, trained as a rabbi, and you are a rabbi. So I'd like to bring the Reb up to say a few words. The former junior middleweight champion of the world, Yuri Foreman.
Hello, champs. Very exciting to fight among great fighters. Coming back, it's very exciting for me personally, and also coming back as a rabbi. However, I promise this fight is not going to be about saying brachas, blessings. Just like, actually want to mention some information for my Jewish observant friends. Sabbath ends early, The fight starts actually early, so for those who lives a little distance from Barclays Center, they should start walk a little bit early and then take a train. I'm gonna fight after sundown, so it's all gonna be kosher. What else? I want to wish everyone good luck, much blessings, and we're all going to showcase our talents and our skills. And it's going to be an exciting night of fighting. I want to thank Lou DiBella and Barclays Center for having me there. Thank you.
Next on the card, there's going to be a rematch. And there's been a lot of excitement in women's fighting recently. And I was sort of happy when the girl boxer beat the girl MMA person. That was sort of cool. But actually, if there's going to be a benefit for that, it may be that more attention will be paid between a lot of the women right now that really can fight, and the weight classes among women where there's a big talent pool and where they're actually going out there and you know, giving it up and doing great stuff in the ring and entertaining people. And you know, in New York, we're lucky enough to have Heather Hardy, who's one of the most entertaining women in women's boxing. Typical of Heather, even though her fight is going to, Yuri's fight is going to start shortly after sundown, Heather's fight is going to be also early. But rather than taking on some easy touch, she's fighting a rematch against the girl where there was a split decision in the first fight, where the other girl's been calling her out ever since. A fight that really was sort of a war. And I've said this before, but Heather fights like a female Mickey Ward. And I want to bring up Heather Hardy. She's going to be fighting Nono Vasquez in a rematch on Saturday night, and I think that should be a great, great fight for the fans.
Hi. I'd like to say thanks to Lou and the Barclays Center for being so supportive of female boxing. It's not really common, so thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving us a spot. Place to showcase our talent. I'll be doing an 8-round rematch. Me and Nono did 8 rounds of war, toe-to-toe, back in May, and she wants to come back and watch me beat her again. So make sure you get there early on Saturday, because they put us early.
The next fight's a terrific fight. It's a meaningful fight in the light heavyweight division. It's not going to be televised, so like you really want to get tickets. You want to call Ticketmaster, you know, go on Ticketmaster.com or go to Barclays Center box office or go to BarclaysCenter.com, because you want to be there to see 4-time New York Golden Glove champion Will Rosinski. He's got a terrific record as a pro, fighting at light heavyweight, fighting another guy who's got a terrific record as a pro, Joe Smith. Joe's promoted by Star Boxing. It's a terrific fight between two guys that have been on a collision course for most of their careers. After Will won the Golden Gloves 4 times, Joe came in at the same weight class and won it after he did. 2 New York Golden Glove champions. The winner of this fight is going to get a huge fight probably coming out of it, and the loser is going to have to take a huge step back. Joe's an active member of New York Labor Union, so he's going to have a lot of union guys supporting him. And a lot of New York's bravest are going to be there because Will Rosinski's firehouse, and he's an active fireman, and his firehouse is 2 stops on the train away from the Barclays Center. So I want to bring up Will Rosinski. It'll be Will Rosinski against Joe Smith Saturday night.
How you doing? Thanks, Lou. Thanks, Barclays Center. What can I say? Saturday's gonna be a good fight. Me and Joe go back a long ways with sparring. We know each other very well. This 10 rounds is going to start off from the first minute of, you know, we're not going to be feeling each other out, so I think it's going to be fireworks from the start to finish. He's claiming to have one-punch knockout power. I'm going to prove that wrong on Saturday and show him by round 3 or 4 that he's in way too deep, way over his head, and I think he's going to realize that real quick. And it's going to be a good win for me Saturday, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the whole card. I know the main event and all these fights on the undercard are going to be great. Thank you. See you guys Saturday.
We're talking about all the world champions and former world champions at the dais. Well, here's one. Here's a future world champion, I think. Opening the Showtime Extreme telecast, U.S. Olympian, undefeated as a pro, one of the very best prospects in boxing, and certainly right now the elite prospect, American prospect at light heavyweight. From Staten Island, New York, Marcus Brown.
Good morning. I want to thank God for waking us up and bringing us here today. Most importantly, I want to thank Steven Espinoza, Brett Yormack, Al Heyman for letting me showcase my talent, as usual. But like you said, I'm here to showcase my talent and do what I got to do. Great card. I know both of these guys personally, so I don't really care who wins. May the best man win. And honestly,
longer, man. Come on, brother.
I already know, but at the same time, it's like the love is still the same, man. You know, and it's hard because it's tugging at me, you know. But most importantly, man, this is a great card. Besides the TV, they got great fighters on this card, so make sure you come out early and show these guys support because they deserve it, and they're putting their records on the line. And most importantly, I'm just ready to show out on Saturday. God bless you guys and be good.
You know, Showtime Extreme now has become something important in boxing too, and it's a place for competitive fights and up-and-coming stars like Marcus, but also for guys to get back in there and reassert themselves on the world stage. This past Saturday night there was a shocking upset on Extreme, but it was reflective of the kind of fights that are now being made on Extreme, where Amir Aman, who's considered one of the really rising potential superstars in boxing, got knocked off by a tough kid who came there to fight and win and shocked a lot of people. On Saturday night in the main event, we have another ex-world champion, a guy that's familiar with fighting in Brooklyn, New York. He's promoted by Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing. Recently fought at the Barclays Center in a really memorable fight and gave Amir Khan more than he wanted and all he could handle in a fight that was super close. So Chris Algieri is going to be making his return and attempting to earn his way to a huge opportunity. But he's going to have to go through a tough guy. And Eric Benet, I know Eric well because I promoted many of his fights. Eric Benet is a tough guy, can punch, can box, has the whole package, and then he's showing up to try to win. And he did the same thing on like a couple of days' notice, if people remember, with Sean Porter, and he gave Sean Porter hell. And it's going to be a real good fight. Ricardo, can you come up and translate for Eric? Eric, would you like to come up and say a few words? Eric, go ahead.
Buenos días con todos. Primero agradecer a Dios, Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. No, creo que agradecido con la oportunidad que se me da ahora. También sé que para muchas personas soy alguien que recién aparece, pero creo que el boxeo es de sorpresas. Todo el mundo, este año ha sido de muchas sorpresas, entonces yo creo que estoy preparado para poder dar la sorpresa y aprovechar la oportunidad que se me ha dado.
I want to tell everybody, I want to say thank you to everybody who's here. And I want to let everybody know that boxing is about giving surprises. Everybody knows in boxing, everybody has one opportunity. This is my opportunity on Saturday night.
It's my pleasure to bring up the pride of Huntington, Long Island, former world champion, shocked the world when he beat Provodnikov at the Barclays Center. Something of a matinee idol also, actually, chicks dig him. And this is a guy whose skills are improving. He showed that in the Khan fight, and he's trying to show it again on Saturday night. And there are big fights ahead if he can get past Eric Benet. From Huntington, New York, Chris Algieri.
Thank you, Lou. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I would like to thank Lou DiBella of DiBella Entertainment, Joe DeGuardia from Star Boxing, Steven Espinoza from Showtime Sports, as this will be my first appearance on Showtime Extreme. I'm looking forward to that very much. Would also like to thank my friend Brett Yormark over at the Barclays Center, which has become a second home for me. I have had some great performances there. Looking to have another great performance, sensational one, this Saturday night. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, be sure to. And if not, definitely check out the telecast, starting early. And it's really an honor to fight on a card with so many great fights and so many great matchups. It's really going to be great fights from beginning to end, and it's truly an honor to be back here in Brooklyn and to perform with such other great fighters. And make sure you tune in, whether you're there in the seats or you're tuned in on Showtime Extreme. Make sure you check out my fight. It's going to be a sensational victory. Thank you.
And once again, the Showtime Extreme card begins at 7 o'clock on Showtime Extreme. The opening bout on Showtime has a super exciting featherweight champion. This guy's a big featherweight, strong featherweight, sort of scary, big punching power. When he gets in the ring the night of the fight, he don't look like a featherweight, he looks like a little brute. And he fights like it, he's very exciting, Jesus Quillin. And he's going to have his hands full on Saturday night with a young man from Puerto Rico, Jonathan Oquendo. Jonathan's been a known commodity to me and to many for years, a prospect for a long time. A guy that's had a good career so far, had a couple of ups and downs, but came out there and took it to Jonathan Gonzalez on the Mayweather undercard, won the fight, and are in this opportunity at a world title. So Jonathan, come on.
Saludos. Primero que nada, darle gracias a Dios por darme la oportunidad de estar aquí con ustedes.
First of all, I want to say thanks to God for this opportunity to be here with you, with all of us.
Gracias a Vela, a la compañía Showtime por darme la oportunidad, a mismo Jesús Quillin por aceptar la pelea. Es un gran reto y estamos aquí para eso.
Thanks to Vela for this great opportunity, Showtime, Steven Espinosa also, and also Cuellar for giving me this great opportunity.
Sabemos la gran oportunidad de coronarme campeón del mundo. Para mí sería una bendición, como ha hecho para dicho compañero. También quiero expresarme a mi compañía Puerto Rico de Boxing y a mi equipo por estar ahí conmigo siempre. Sabemos el gran reto, sabemos el estilo de Cuellar, es una gran pelea, me gusta el estilo que pelea Cuellar, o sea que va a ser una guerra donde habrá blood in the ring, y nada, espero que se den cita, ya el viernes estaremos dando el peso y el sábado la pelea. Dios los bendiga.
Okay, I know how important, this fight is for me. I know Cuellar's style, I know he's very aggressive, so I like that style. I know that will be a war that night on the ring, will be blood on the ring. I want to thank to all my team and my promoters. Thanks, and I see you on Saturday. God bless you.
Thank you.
And Jonathan has been promoted by the Rivera brothers in Puerto Rico, and the gentleman who was kind enough to be doing the translating is his promoter, Peter Rivera. Thank you, Peter. I'm a big fan of this next guy. I think he's a scary cat. He's another great fighter from Argentina, which seems to be producing some very tough guys. He fights out of the same gym as Marcos Madonna, which I think is no accident, because if you watch both of them, they sort of fight the same way. They're both scary guys. I'd like to bring up the featherweight champion of the world, Jesus Quillin.
Hola, buenas tardes. Bueno, nada, estoy muy bien preparado para el sábado. Voy a llevar triunfo para Argentina. Oquendo viene bien preparado, ojalá se dé una gran pelea. Y bueno, vamos a estar viendo una gran pelea el sábado. Muchísimas gracias.
Good afternoon to everybody. I want to say thank you for everyone's here. It's going to be a great victory for Argentina on Saturday. I'm well prepared. I know Jonathan Oquendo is a great fighter, but I have a victory on Saturday night. Thank you very much.
To the main event of the evening. A lot has been made of this Battle of Brooklyn, a lot is made of bragging rights, and a lot's been made about a belt. But this is bigger than that. And what this is really about is two terrific middleweights, prime of their career, actually on the young side, both putting everything on the line to establish their spot among the supreme talent in boxing, among the supreme middleweights in boxing. The winner of this fight is almost an immediate superstar, particularly since I can't envision a scenario where this isn't an exciting fight. As a fan, I'm excited about this fight. It's been one I've been waiting for a long time. People have asked me, they said, who do you like? I said, I like both of them. That's the truth. And frankly, both of them can win, and they bring some different things to the table. And Danny is, I think, maybe a little bit faster, a little bit slicker, might be, technically a little bit stronger. Peter's a monster. He's a huge middleweight, hard punching, can also box, knocks people out with regularity. This is a scary fight for both guys, but I think they're both supremely confident. They're both calm, and they both got their game faces on. This is one, if you're a fan, you got to see. And you really want to see it live, so I'm going to pump one more time. Get your tickets. Go to the Barclays Center, barclaycenter.com, Barclays Center box office, Ticketmaster.com. Buy tickets to this. There are plenty of good ones available still. And I think it's going to be an unbelievable night of boxing. And if you can't be there across the country, make sure you tune into Showtime, because this is the kind of fight boxing needs. Two young men, a champion, a former champion, and Peter never lost his title in the ring. He's undefeated. This is an unbelievable fight, and I'm like, as a fan, and I forget about being the promoter of the event. As a fan, I'm really psyched to watch this and sit back and enjoy it. And that's what I'm going to do in my seat that night. I'm going to bring up first the former middleweight champion of the world, undefeated, one of the prides of Brooklyn, New York. A guy that has had his own trials and tribulations to overcome in his career, and he's always done a tremendous job of doing that. He's had a rough couple of years, and he still excelled. He got in the ring against Lee, and it was a war. And he's looking forward to the Saturday night and really anticipating regaining a championship and getting those bragging rights in Brooklyn. Peter Kid Chocolate Quillin.
How y'all doing today? All right, I'm gonna do something totally different. And I'm always out the way, but I don't want to be disrespectful to nobody, but I want to actually say a prayer for Preacher Quilin. We talk about praying, but I want to take the time right now to pray for him. And if anybody feel disrespected, I'm sorry, because for me, I just want to show my respect for somebody that's fought so hard. His brother, who is just doing a translation for him, sits by his bedside every day and waiting for his brother to come out of a coma. That's real deal. So everybody bow their head, please. I want to thank God so much for having the opportunity and the impact. I want to pray for Preacher Quilin, Lord, that you may be able to see him through his storm, Lord. Watch over his brother while he give him the strength. Lord, make sure that you provide another day for him and his family. Give him the strength. I want to pray all these heavenly things in your son's name, Jesus Christ, amen. All right. It's important for me to do that because, I found something. See that title right there? It's not about the title for me. I found out something in this camp. It's about how much you impact the person. I need to plant seeds in people's hearts that, you can be from a effed up situation, oversee the storm, and come back even stronger. So I fight for the people that need strength, that come from the hood, Black America, all the Cubans that come here fighting for opportunity, people in Brooklyn trying to get out of Brooklyn. That's who I fight for. Marcus Brown, who's a father, it's a blessing to see a father with his kid, because where I'm from, you don't see many fathers doing that. So I'm thankful. But let me get down to what it's supposed to be. I want to thank Showtime, Steven Espinoza. I'm glad to be on Showtime. It's like a home to me. I'm thankful because y'all give me the light that, I can get out to the world and be a positive person, impact. I want to thank my All Access crew who was down there with me, inspired me. I just found out I'm the only boxer in history that they've been working with that have a working wife. And they've been working for over 25 years, so it's a blessing to be able to have that. Thank my wife, because she definitely helped me produce my message and my story. I'm thankful to have her. I recognize that I got so many things to be blessed and so many things to be happy for. So I want to thank my wife for just being such a support system for me. Lou DeBella, we've been friend and foes, you know what I mean? So I'm thankful for being on your card. He's a New York promoter. He gave me an opportunity early in my career. I made a splash in his circuit. So I'm thankful to be part of this whole thing once again, okay? Barclays Center. Brett Yarmark, a big inspiration to me, giving guys like me an opportunity to showcase my talent, be part of something huge. Everybody want to be part of something bigger than themselves, and I think all the people I'm on the panel with gives me that reason to fight even harder. Danny Jacobs, I want to thank you. I want to tell you why. because you're the champ, calling an undefeated challenger out. It's a blessing. And let me know how far I came, you know what I mean? I come from nothing, so I'm thankful to be able to have this light and this opportunity. You know, my dad came here to this country without a pair of shoes on and without a shirt, just a pair of pants. And now his son is fighting for a world title fight. It's a blessing. I'm thankful. All the fighters that's on this panel who fighting with their own story, grew up. I've been a big fan of yours. Yuri, God bless you for all your journey. All these guys here, Chris, all these guys making their story, man, it's a blessing. I just want y'all to just give respect to the fighters. You know, we go in there fighting for whatever reason we fight for, and you guys are the fans of that, and we just want to be thankful for people that support us for positive reasons. It's a blessing to be able to do so. I want to thank Al Heyman, who's my advisor. You know what I mean? Al Heyman, let me tell y'all, he changed the game of boxing and how y'all view it. Y'all seeing fights on every network out there, you know what I mean? I hear a lot of people bash him, but I'm like, you know, man, this man gave me the opportunity to be able to feed my family. He actually gave me some of the best advice that I can live by and feel comfortable going to the ring with. So I want to thank Al Heyman in such a big way for giving, you know, the fighters an opportunity, a bigger voice than we ever had in life. Not even that, I got a 529 plan set up for my son for education, all because of the advice that Al gives me. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people think Al, you know, made me give up my belt or advised me to give up my belt. I gave my belt because I wanted to spend time with my family. No money can sell me out for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful because it says, what good for a man to gain the whole world but forfeit his soul? You know? So I'm glad I made the decisions that I made in life that taught me to be a better man and a better person. I want to thank the media because regardless of what y'all get of me, you know, it's inspiring and it'll motivate me regardless of what you write. I'm thankful. I want to thank God for this opportunity. Y'all be blessed. Go home, hug your family because, you know, it's a blessing to be able to do that. And air is for free, so we got to be thankful every morning we get that. God bless y'all. Thank y'all.
That was really nice, bro. I mean, it's, you know, nothing wrong with class in this business. Nothing wrong with character. You know, those are things that are important in any profession, in any walk of life, any place. And sometimes with the rhetoric in our business, like that gets lost. But you know, there are two guys here that have that kind of class and that kind of character. That's a natural way to segue into the champion to my right. Known this guy since he's a kid, literally. One of the best kids I knew, one of the best men I know. Overcome a lot. Has the heart of a champion in every way. Cancer couldn't beat him, and I know he's not afraid of any man after what he's gone through. And I think the fact that he is taking on a guy as tough as Peter Quillin, an undefeated former world champion, as a challenge, when he's still a young fighter and could have taken an easier road, speaks volumes about the kind of champion he is and wants to be. The Miracle Man, Danny Jacobs.
There's a whole lot of people to thank. I just want to thank everyone who played a part in making this happen. This is going to be a very special card. I'm privileged to be in and to share the ring with Peter Quilin. As I said and alluded to in the past, that he's been on the radar for a very long time, and it's not because he's this superstar or this whatever he claims to be, but it's more so that I understand that this is a fight that Brooklyn deserves. This is something that I understand that the Barclay has been asking for a very long time, and this is why this fight has happened. I'm looking forward to that night. I understand what he brings to the table. I'm more than ready for the challenge. And you're going to see exactly why my late great trainer Victor Roundtree always say, I rise to the occasion. Today is my son's birthday, Nathaniel. So I just want to wish you a very happy birthday, son. I love you. I'm not going to really waste you guys' time, but as Lou said, please get your tickets. You're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be different being on TV than actually being there and witnessing that Brooklyn crowd and that energy and that vibe and just the whole electricity throughout the building. It's going to be probably, in my opinion, one of the best fights that Barclay has produced thus far. I'm excited about it. Once again, I want to thank everyone who played a part in this. Let's go, Team Jacobs. We here, baby.
We do face to face, Kelly.